I'm going to tell you this. I felt really nervous. I was excited. Of course, I knew that I was going to do whatever it took. But here I was about to cut my guaranteed income, cut my 9 to 5, to go down this entrepreneurial journey. And it was, it was a journey of uncertainty.
So what happened?
So I quit my job. And then I want to say the middle of September, I did my first deal.
What's happening, good people? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders. Today I got my brother Kemoy in the building, man. We're gonna be talking about Airbnbs and you know what I'm saying? Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's my pleasure.
I appreciate you for coming out to this edition of Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, I like that.
That's gonna be an inside joke.
Yeah.
But man, for the people who don't know, who is Kemoy?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? My name's Kemoy Martin. I was born in Jamaica, raised in Brooklyn, New York, full-time entrepreneur, world traveler. I teach people how to build an Airbnb business without owning any property. I teach all types of individuals that are hungry to create passive income, and that's my passion, teaching people how to get that level of success in their life.
Got you. So to get things started, man, how did you get started with just real estate in general? What was your first, what was the connection with real estate?
Yeah, man. So how I got involved into real estate, well, it all started with wholesaling, right? Okay. And this was back in 2013.
Okay.
And it's actually really interesting how I even got involved. I mean, at the beginning of 2013, I was working at Department of Social Services in Baltimore City, right? And I had literally reached my breaking point working at that job because that job had nothing to do with my degree, had all this student loan debt.
What was your degree in?
Biology.
Okay. Yeah. So you real smart then.
Barely. Look, man, I'm not really book smart like that. You know what I'm saying? Till this day, I don't know why I was a biology major, but
okay.
That's what I did, you know? And it was tough, man. I couldn't find a job in my degree. I had a fraternity brother kind of hook me up with this social service, job. And at first it was cool, but just after being there for a couple years, I realized, look, man, I can't really thrive and really live life on this type of salary and just working like this.
Gotcha. What type of salary are you talking about though?
Bro, $28,000, $29,000 a year. Again, my student loans through the roof. So it didn't align with the life that I thought I was going to be living at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're teenagers, we kind of have this thought in our mind, when we get to we become adults and grow up, after we graduate from school, we're going to live this life.
No doubt,
we're going to be making all this money. We're going to be driving all these nice cars, fancy vacations. And it wasn't like that.
Hey, now, you be on vacation. So we'll discuss that a little later on.
Exactly. Now I do, not then, right?
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where I was. So out of that situation, I felt so much dissatisfaction that I want to change. And I want to change really, really bad. And I had a good friend of mine refer a book to me called Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And I hated reading books, but I was so dissatisfied with just my life and just the money I was making or the lack thereof. I was very open-minded. See, when you're very dissatisfied, that's the most coachable you'll ever be,
Hey, that's the bar right there.
Yeah, that's a fact. And read that book so fast. And I was so coachable to that book. Anything that Jack said to do in that book, I was so coachable to it. And one of the things that he talked about in that book was to form mastermind groups. And, as far as a mastermind group, you find like-minded people that kind of have similar aspirations, as you, and you guys meet up and you talk about how to help each other achieve certain goals.
Got you.
And with what I was looking for is how I can quit this job and become wealthy.
I got you.
Yeah.
About how old are you at this time?
I was about 24 years old.
24 years
24,
old.
25 years old. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Where you living at?
I was in Baltimore City.
Got you. You living alone, parents?
So one of my fraternity brothers, he had recently bought a house and I was renting out one of the bedrooms in the house.
Got you. So how did you transition into the wholesaling?
Cool. So from that mastermind group, right, I had formed with a couple of my like-minded friends and we were talking about all types of ideas that we can quit our job and really, create wealth and success in business. And one of my friends in that group mentioned, hey, have you ever heard of this concept called wholesaling? And I was like, no, I never heard of it. He's like, yeah, man, you can not have money and make money off real estate. And I didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
And I was like, and I wanted to make money, and especially off real estate. That sounded good. So like, I'll never forget it. When he told me about that, I went home that night and I like Googled everything I could find on wholesaling.
Got you.
And I came across, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, probably you did. His name is Sean Terry, right? Really big, real estate investor / wholesaler in the market. And he had this like free ebook online, and I literally like printed it out, and like I remember like I would literally stay up until like 4 or 5 in the morning, like just like really like digesting this ebook. And out of that, from reading that book, I got so excited because I truly felt like, man, I can do this business and this can get me out of this job.
Got you.
Right.
So let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
For somebody listening and considering wholesaling.
Yeah.
What were your first few steps to get in the game with no money?
Yeah. So pretty much what I understood was, not necessarily not needing, any money. Well, you could there are free ways in terms of like getting deals and stuff like that. But it was essentially about finding motivated sellers, right? And utilizing the different strategies to do so. So like one of the at that point, it was very popular to send out, direct mail. People still send direct mail, but not as much as they did back then, right? Now there's like SMS marketing and
so that's text messaging.
Text message marketing, which is a lot more popular now, and ringless voicemail. But back then, those things weren't that popular.
So for somebody not listening, ringless voicemail means you're sending me a voicemail, and the phone never rings.
Yep.
Got you. Now we was just talking about it earlier. I don't check my voicemails. How effective is that?
Yeah, so me personally, I've never utilized ringless voicemails.
But it's just a strategy.
But it is a strategy. But I've definitely done text messaging. Those work really, really well.
Got you. So you was telling me though, you was tapping in.
Yep. So I was tapping in, and I was just researching all the different ways of marketing. How to find motivated sellers that'll give me these deep discounted properties. Off market properties, and out of that mastermind group, I had asked a couple of them. Did you guys want to start this wholesaling business with me? And formed an LLC, and we kind of would, we would, pretty much, we would take our money and we'd put it in this pot, and we would put this money in and put it into marketing. And we put it into direct mail marketing. And then we started literally getting phone calls from these motivated sellers. And from there, we went through a lot of no's, but we started, locking up some houses, putting them under contract.
So before you go there,
I
think it's important to understand when you say a lot of no's. How many no's on average before you get a deal?
A lot.
I mean, they need to hear that because what's a lot? Give me a number on it, just an estimation. Just because a lot of people will start this and get discouraged.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're hearing no so much, but they need to understand that your perseverance is why you had success. So you got to fight through the no's. And I just want to dive into what number that may be.
Yeah, man. I mean, see, we would probably send out about, at that time it was about like 2,000, 3,000 postcards.
Wow.
But we would only get a fraction that would actually give us a call back. Right. And I mean, granted, I remember out of that like first batch, we only got like one house under contract, out of that batch of like 2,000.
Gotcha. What was your biggest deal?
So my biggest deal was about 18K.
That's nice, though.
Yeah, 18K.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So do you own any real estate?
No.
Got you. All right. So out of any of those deals, you never took a deal like, man, that's a good deal. I want to keep that.
And I will tell you this: there are a couple of deals that I regret not keeping.
Why?
Or at least I wish I would have did the flip myself.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I was so focused on I got to make money because look, that beginning of the year, that's when I quit that's when we started Mastermind Group. The beginning of 2013, I actually quit my job August of 2013. Right. And I quit before I even did a deal.
Wow. Can you go into that? Like,
so,
hey man, that's a little risky.
It very, right? So we started the wholesaling business around April, May 2013. That's when we got the LLC. But again, I was so like focused on becoming this entrepreneur that like, I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if this real estate thing's going to work. But I was like obsessed with becoming this full-time entrepreneur and no longer working at this job. So I had said to myself, I'm going to put myself in a position where I can't turn back. I got to burn the bridge. So I'm going to put my quit notice in for August 2nd, 2013. And whatever happens, just happens. And that's what I did.
That's right before your birthday.
Yeah, literally a month and change.
There it
right?
is.
And then the day the day August 2nd came and I quit my job. And I had so many coworkers, come to my cubicle, congratulate me. If there's one thing that really stuck out to me, it was one coworker, she said, "Mr. Martin, I'm so proud of you. I've been meaning to leave this place for years, but I just got caught up." And
What she mean by that?
So like she had so many intentions on not working at that place for as long as she did. Because she was, older woman. She was there for years, a very long time, probably well over 10, 15 years. And she planned on, leaving there and going after more of, the passion that she had. But for whatever reason, she just felt so tied down to being at that job. She just never let go. And I'm going to tell you this, I felt really nervous. I was excited. Of course, I knew that I was going to do whatever it took. But here I was about to cut my guaranteed income, cut my 9 to 5 to go down this entrepreneurial journey. And it was a journey of uncertainty.
So what happened?
So I quit my job. And then I want to say the middle of September, I did my first deal. And it wasn't for nothing crazy. It was about $5,500. But what I will tell you is by that time, everybody that I had formed that real estate group with, they had all left.
Oh, wow.
They all left.
Why though?
So because, we were going through so many numbers, getting so many no's, prior to that deal that I closed in September, we had other houses under contract, turned out not being a good deal. We couldn't move it. And just out of just not seeing results, I guess, they wanted to kind of go on to other things, and it understood.
Got you.
But for me, I had already quit my job and there was nothing that was going to stop me. I mean, in my mind, it was already going to be working. I don't know how, but I knew it had to work.
So what was the next step? You got your first deal.
First deal, $5,500. That gave me a little bit more wiggle room to breathe and have bills paid,
Right.
Because I no longer have this guaranteed check come in. But what that did was it gave me proof of concept. It raised my belief because it was like, man, this actually works. So it gave me the confidence to put more into marketing. It gave me the confidence to put more time and dedication into this craft. And it also gave me the understanding that, look, I can actually make, do deals like this, but I can get more. I can make more money and I can really become a full-time entrepreneur. Like it's one thing, I already quit and technically I was a full-time entrepreneur, but like, okay, wow, this is actually tangible.
Owning it.
Yeah, I can actually really do this now.
Got you.
Right. So yeah, I was putting more money into marketing, closing more deals, becoming more confident, and just really tapping in and really making it into a real business.
Got you. So without further ado,
Yeah.
like how does Airbnb come into the equation?
All right, so cool. So boom, was doing wholesaling, was also involved in network marketing. And, during that 2013 point and even over the course of several years, right? And was making really good money, being able to travel around the world, having, amazing freedom. But then in one of my businesses, there were just some, just decisions being made out of my control that really affected my residual income. And because of that, I needed another business. I needed another opportunity to kind of get myself out of that hole because I was so used to having freedom and I was so used to having all this passive income that, look, I need to find a way to continue this, because a lot of people, they'll start a business. If things go wrong, they'll get sidetracked and kind of go back.
Quit.
But no, that wasn't me, so I was really looking for something aggressively. And I had a good friend that was in the Airbnb space. And I saw that they were making money, right? And even though they were making money, it didn't connect with me yet for whatever reason. So I had moved into a brand new apartment that I was really excited about. And after I had decked it out and furnished it, I invited a couple of my friends over. And one of my friends that had an Airbnb business, they came over. And as I'm giving them a grand tour of my place, she says to me, Kemoy, it's a really nice place. This would be a really cool place for an Airbnb. And I was like, okay. Didn't really think nothing of it. I already know you're in the Airbnb business. My mind's not tapped in, so I'm not even really like on that,
Right. You don't see the big picture.
I don't really see the big picture, exactly. So about a week or two later, she ends up getting a property in that building for her Airbnb business. And again, this wasn't a property that she bought. It was a property that she rented.
How that made you feel then?
So at first it was like, okay. But then she shared with me the profits. Oh, boom, this first month, I made well over $1,500. Boom, this month, close to $2,000. I was like, wait a minute now. Because in my mind, I was in wholesaling. I was in real estate. So I understood that, okay, you can make money off real estate. But in my mind, the only way to really make money off of property was to be, an owner, a landlord, and actually, getting tenants and being, creating residual income that way.
Right.
But I was doing my research and I saw that the average, positive cash flow for a rental property was about $300, $500.
Where can I find that?
So, Baltimore.
No. Where can I find those numbers?
Yeah. So it was somewhere online. Yeah. Now I understood that, of course, in other places and even some parts of Baltimore, it could be much higher.
Right.
But this was just kind of like the average. And even like on Bigger Pockets, they were kind of out here these on interview and stuff like that. Just me being like a newbie, just kind of listening.
Gotcha.
Right. So when I saw that my friend made that amount off a property that she didn't own, I was like, okay, I need to kind of be more aware. I need to open up my mind here. Right? Because here she just literally leased up a property right down the hall from me and she's making a great amount of income. And she didn't have to have a lot of capital. And she's a friend, I'm really close with her. She's traveling around the world just like me. Her Airbnbs are making money while she's traveling around the world, right? So I was tapped into it. But then I just need to understand how to really automate. And actually over a good course of time, I learned how to really automate the business, meaning though I didn't have to clean the properties. If anything were to get, broken, I didn't have to fix anything, create self-check-in systems so guests were able to check in on their own. And that was really exciting because I truly understood that, wow, I can have these properties generate passive income and I don't have to physically be present.
Gotcha.
And I can continue to travel the world while still making income.
And you keep saying that. How many places you been to? How many countries you been to?
So I'm at 40 right now. 40 countries. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what was the dopest place you ever been to though?
So it's tough, man. I would say my top two.
Okay.
Top three. I say Greece, Bali, and Brazil.
I've heard Bali several times.
Bro.
I gotta get there.
We're supposed to be going.
Right.
Bali's fire. Like Bali's a place where I'd actually live. Right. And there's a lot of expats there, like people that like literally like travel there, like from out the country and they like move there. Like Bali's a really cool place and you can live in luxury for the low.
Got you. Now, how many Airbnbs do you currently sublease or have under arbitrage?
Yeah, currently 12.
12.
Yep.
Got you. What's your on average? What's your monthly revenue on those 12?
Yeah. So my one bedrooms. It can range anywhere from like 1,500 to 2,000, and my two bedroom can range anywhere from like 2,000 to like 2,500. Nice. Some months it could be a little bit higher, but nice. On average.
And we're talking
profit.
So net.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got you. What's stopping you from going from 12 to 20?
So it's funny that you asked me that, right? Because I have great relationships with the landlords that I partner up with these properties, right? And in one building where I have 3 apartments in that one apartment building, he's always asking me if I want more. But for whatever reason, the way how that building is set up, it doesn't work for me. But then I also have another building where
What doesn't work for you before you go?
So I'm going to tell you why that particular building, it doesn't work for me to expand. Because look, the way how that building is set up, you need to get a key in order for it pretty much to have the elevator work. You need to have a key fob, right? Mm-hmm. But the way how my units are set up in that particular building, the key fob is actually outside the apartment door, which is 1 floor up, right? And once you get the key, then you can pretty much use the elevator. Now there's about 4 units on that second level. I have 3 out of the 4. Mm. The ones he's trying to offer me are on the 3rd floor, 4th floor, and so on and so forth. I pretty much, based on experience, people don't like, climbing upstairs, especially when they have suitcases, right? So if I were to get something on the 3rd floor, my guests would literally have to climb up 2 flights of stairs with their suitcases
Understood.
to get the key to then be able to use the elevator.
Gotcha.
So, and I shared that with him. Like, hey, look, I said, if there's maybe another way that I can have my people be able to access the elevator, then yeah. But the way how this is set up, that doesn't work for me.
I wonder why he hasn't accommodated that, because it'll be a win-win for you.
It's
and him.
it's a very secure building, and I think it's just the way how he wants to secure the building.
Fair enough.
So I don't knock it, you know.
Got you. Have you thought about different ways to obtain, go from 12 to maybe 20?
So boom, right? In another building, I have 7 apartments, and that landlord pretty much told me, look, anytime I have availability, I'm going to give you more. So with that building, there's an elevator that you don't need to have a key fob, so I'm locked in. Anytime there's availability in that building, I'm going to keep growing within that building.
Now, question to you. Is there anybody else doing Airbnb in that building?
No.
Gotcha.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of, I should say.
What kind of deal do you got brokered with him that allows you to, that makes it so inviting for him to offer you more properties?
The first thing I'll say is I cultivated a relationship with him.
When you say cultivated, dive into that.
So when I got the first property, I shared my spill, and I presented to them how it'd be an asset, right? And of course, they never worked with somebody like me before, in the short-term and rental industry. So they were a little apprehensive, but they were open to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they allowed me to get 1 unit, right? Mm-hmm. So they saw that I did great business. They saw that I was consistently paying the rent. And I was no problem, like things were cool. Probably their most, consistent paying tenant, right? Gotcha. And I was taking care of the properties because of, I have these properties that I need to get 5-star reviews on. So I'm financially incentivized to take care of these properties, right? So they're assets to me. So I'm different from...
So wait a minute, I think that might go over people's heads.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you get 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're going to take care of the building to ensure, or the apartment to ensure that you get 5-star reviews.
Yeah. Which
in essence motivates him to give you more properties because you're maintaining the quality of the building.
Exactly. And that's really big for a landlord. And even when it comes to turnover, that's a landlord's biggest expense.
Right.
So again, I'm positioning myself as an asset. Right. So after they seen how good I did with 1 unit, they offered me another one. And here's the thing. Other people have reached out to them about trying to get apartments in their building, and they get no's. Right. But it's because I built a relationship with them.
Understood. Understood. That's dope. That's dope. As you're going through this, obviously, I was telling you before we started that I'm working on my first Airbnb.
Yeah. Congrats,
so,
man.
you know what I mean? Hey,
yeah.
Thank you. So mine is located near the airport in Indianapolis.
Nice.
Therefore, that, hopefully I get common traffic coming through from in and out travelers for business and et cetera, et cetera. So if I were to start an Airbnb business, like what's the first step I should take?
Like from all the way in the beginning? Well, number one, I would educate myself.
Got you.
Right? That's what I would do. I would find some way to tap in with some type of program or mentorship, so that way I can learn the information. So that way, you could just go out there and try to piece it all together, but there's no matter what business you do, the fastest way to success and to truly get understanding is to find some type of mentorship and guidance where they already laid out the blueprint. Right? That saves you time. It also saves you money.
Right. Using other people's experience.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Absolutely. So that's the first thing that I would do. And then I'll take action. I'll take action on the steps. And pretty much the most important thing, I would kind of start, once I understand what to say and how to position myself as an asset to landlords and property managers and apartments, I would actually start putting myself out there to look for these properties. Like I don't want to get too caught up on information overload. I don't want to get caught up preparing to prepare. All right. I need to start looking at properties.
So what apps do you use to start finding properties?
Yeah. So that's a great question. What I teach my students to do, I teach them how to research the market, right? And the way how you can do that is literally you go to Airbnb.com, you type in your particular city, and what you can do is there's a map, right, on the side of those results. And if you look at the map, you'll see where most of the properties are kind of just populated, right? Okay. And if you zoom in on that location, that will kind of tell you that there's probably a lot of activity going on in this area. And what you can even do more so is look for properties that have the most reviews. That have the most reviews.
And this, so right now we're dictating the temperature, how hot it is in certain areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if this particular property or these properties have a lot of reviews, what does that tell you?
You're getting a lot of visits.
They're getting a lot of visits. They're getting a lot of bookings. People, there's a success leaves clues. So if they're getting a lot of bookings, obviously this is an area where there's a lot of traffic and where people are looking for a place to stay.
Gotcha.
So once I pinpoint that area, plus me knowing exactly what to say, how to position myself, I start targeting properties in those particular areas.
How do you target them?
So, I mean, it's simple. I mean, I use platforms, right? You can literally find properties for free, right? You can utilize Zillow, you can utilize rent.com, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, right? You can utilize a lot of these free platforms to start searching properties in these particular areas.
That's free. What are some that are paid?
All I use is free. All I use is
Nice.
free. Yeah. So
nice.
yeah,
All
for sure.
right.
Or
Okay.
word of mouth, referrals. And here's another thing that you could probably do too in terms of pay. I do know that there are some people that do this. You can really find some motivated realtors, right? And if you want them to really go out there and find some for you, maybe you can kind of slip them a few dollars,
Got you.
and that'll keep them pretty motivated.
All right. So now we got the property.
Yeah.
I have the property now
Yeah.
under contract. What's the next steps that we take?
Yeah. So again, success leaves clues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at those really successful listings and I'm going to look at how they furnish their properties. Because again, people are booking these places for a reason. I'm looking at the reviews. Do people like this place, right? I'm figuring out what people are liking consistently. I'm going to pay attention to the rug. I'm going to pay attention to the sofa. I'm pay attention to the pillows. If they got art on the wall, I'm paying attention to the lamp, everything, right? And I'll probably even mimic a good amount of how they got their place set up. And I'll make it my own.
Got you. They say successful entrepreneurs don't copy, they steal.
And that's why I say I wasn't the best. I wasn't book smart, bro. I wasn't that smart. But what I did do, I cheated my ass off in school. I don't know if I can curse, but
You good, bro?
Cool.
Hey, boys in the hood.
Yeah,
We good.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I did. I cheated my ass off in school, man. So that was bad in school, right? But when it comes to entrepreneurship, that's what works. That's what
doubt.
works, right?
doubt.
For sure.
Got you. So you got your place furnished and things like that. In your Airbnbs, do you rent each room or you rent the property alone?
Yeah.
How do you go about yours?
So me personally, I do the whole entire place.
Got
yeah, I
you.
do the whole
Why
entire
don't you
place.
do like per room?
So it just seems like more work, to be honest with you. I've never really considered it. I do know that there are people that do it. And I just didn't want to deal with the blending of the different guests. Maybe it could be something very lucrative to me. I just never really looked into it. What I'm doing is working. So I just figured, why reinvent the wheel? But
Now, I do got a question about liabilities, though, all right? So there are people that do that and are successful, renting room by room.
yeah.
Is there some type of liability insurance that I could get anywhere for Airbnbs to protect me as a owner?
Yeah, for sure. So number one, Airbnb itself, they have, insurance, right? That they provide, right? Host insurance. But then you can also go out there and take things a step further if you want to get short-term rental insurance as well.
Got you. What's that cost, like typically per year?
So I would say short-term rental insurance, in terms of monthly, it could be about $100, $200, depending on which ones you get.
Okay, cool. I just, at least you know that you can protect yourself.
Yeah, for
you know
sure,
what I mean?
for sure.
Okay, cool,
yeah,
cool,
and
cool.
there's literally insurance, especially for Airbnb, VRBO, and these sites.
Before I go to the next step, what are some things that you put in your Airbnb
Yeah,
to make your Airbnb stand out?
yeah, it's a good question. You trying to get my game?
Hey, bro, hey, I need to learn. I'm about to execute this.
Yeah. So I mean, people like different things, right? There are people out there that have theme properties, and there's all different types of things that you can do. Me personally, I like to add color, right? Like I love adding decor pillows. I love adding throw blankets. And I like a nice little, area rug. Art is really cool, man. Like I love getting art pieces, and you don't even got to get like Picasso's or anything. Like I love going to Home Goods. That's like one of my favorite stores, and you can get some really nice art from Home Goods. People, and then plants. Plants really make your place pop. And I don't really suggest getting real plants. Like you can get some really nice fake looking plants, especially from Home Goods. And between that, man, like some nice plants, some nice art, some decor pillows, like a nice little, rug, like those things will make your place stand out.
Got you.
For
Got
sure.
you. Security systems. What
Yeah.
do you use?
So me personally, I don't really have security systems in my properties.
Got
You
you.
could have a ring doorbell, outside your property.
Got
If
you.
you kind
Do
of
you have like a drop box for the key? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so in some of my properties, I have lock boxes outside the buildings. Some of my buildings, they can literally buzz themselves in. They can like press a button. I can buzz them in from my phone, or I have my personal assistant buzz them in.
So I can have an application to wherever I'm at, I could just let them in.
Yeah, there are electronic keypads like that as well.
But how does
There's
that
a
work if like it's midnight? I don't want to buzz nobody in.
Yeah,
I want you to have a code. Can I guess what I'm thinking about is how can I make this?
automated. Where you going? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it depends on the property, but if you have like a property where it's kind of like the entrance from the street, like kind of like a house or townhouse, whatever, you can literally just put on electronic keypad where they just press some buttons. In one of my properties, I have that.
got you. Do you remember what brand it is?
I believe it's Schlag. Schlag.
That's cool. I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. You
So
can find it on
electronic
Amazon.
keypad, it'll drop for them, and I could change the code.
You can.
So
You
can I
can.
change the code from a phone?
You can. You can.
Yeah. So every time somebody leaves,
Yeah.
I could put a new code in.
You could do that.
Boom. That's what I need to know. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. So as far as like property management, what do you do for, how do you set up your cleaning and maintenance?
Yeah. So pretty much, I have a cleaning team, right, and I have a handyman, and those are kind of like the two most instrumental people to my team. And I also have pretty much a virtual assistant that handles all my communication with guests.
Gotcha. So they do all the texting. They handle just
Yep.
every aspect of it.
Yep. All the communication.
What do you compensate your virtual assistant?
So I pay them, I want to say on a monthly basis, a little under $1,000. They're really
Got-
not that much.
Got
Yeah.
you. And
And then
what
they're 24/7.
24/7 one person?
So it's actually like a married couple, but they also onboarded like I guess the husband's like cousin. So it's kind of like a little family, and you're like out of
Got
Pakistan.
you. So everybody got a rotation.
Yeah, like,
8 hour
like
shift.
one person's sleeping, the other person's up. Yeah.
Got you. Where can they get a VA?
So Upwork is really good, right? Onlinejobs.ph is really good. Me personally, I really love Upwork.
Got you. What type of responsibilities do they have?
So the VAs, so pretty much they handle all communication. So like when someone has questions, they'll answer all the questions. If a guest is having trouble checking into the property, they'll literally call the guests and help guide them through on how to get inside the property. All the way from Pakistan, bro. All the way from Pakistan. If a guest wants to know, hey, where are some good restaurants out here? They'll figure out the best restaurants, add it. They'll message the guests. If there's any damages that occurred, they'll reach out to me, and they'll also reach out to my handyman. Every single morning, they'll send my cleaners an updated cleaner checklist, so they'll know exactly what properties need to be cleaned. If there's a change if there's an alteration in a guest's reservation, they got to make sure that the cleaners know so they can adjust the schedule. Everything. If my cleaners need access to maybe getting into a property and need like some just some other extra information, they'll give them that, or my handyman. All types of things.
Got you. So my next question is, you got some nice stuff in your Airbnb, nice
Yeah.
TV, nice, appliances and et cetera, accessories. What happens when something is broke?
Yeah. So the amazing thing about Airbnb and similar platforms, if something were to break during a stay, as far as like your guest staying there, you literally just take pictures and take video, and you can upload it to Airbnb. It's through the resolution center. And Airbnb will literally reimburse you for those damages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like insurance for an investor that's going to buy new furniture.
Yep.
Like it's protected
Yep.
by the application.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like I've had like sofas get damaged. Boom, upload the picture, send to Airbnb. They replace it. I mean, I've had TVs get damaged, walls get scuffed up, and that's why it's been a simple process maintaining my properties. Literally, if a wall gets overly scuffed up because of a guest, I can take pictures, videos, send up to Airbnb. I'll pay my handyman, but I'll get reimbursed for that.
Do you do a pre-walkthrough to make sure they could have the before and then they could see the after?
So when you say as far as like Airbnb,
right? So let's say this is my Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
I come in, it's done, renovated. I'm going to do a walkthrough with it furnished, and so I utilize that as what the property looked like initially, and then when there's something broken, I can have the before and after to justify that. Hey, that's how this functioned before.
Yeah.
Now it's broke.
So when you list your Airbnb when you list your property on Airbnb, you actually are listing a bunch of pictures, right? So that's kind of like the before. This is how my property is supposed to look.
Gotcha. Now let's just say pictures. Did you get a professional photographer, or you did the pictures yourself?
Me personally, I actually do my pictures up by myself from my iPhone, right?
Gotcha.
But I'm fairly good when it comes to picture taking.
Yeah, we know.
Right?
Hey, if you haven't checked out Kemoy's social media, man, where can they find you at? Because you everywhere.
Kemoy_Martin. Kemoy_Martin. KEMOY_MARTIN.
Man, this man is on adventures. Go check him out, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
back to it, though. Got you. So the pictures that you took before are kind of like your before.
But what I will suggest is if you're not really that great at taking pictures or you don't enjoy it, highly encourage you getting a photographer because your pictures are really important when it comes to getting bookings. That's probably the most important thing for sure. People don't like to read. The people will book just from pictures.
Understood. Now, as far as property management team, or you said you got a maintenance man.
Yep.
So like, how'd you source him?
So I found him on Thumbtack.
Got you. What's Thumbtack? A lot of people don't know about that.
So Thumbtack is it's an app, right, where you can literally find people that do anything, like any type of odd job or service, man. If you're looking for a handyman, you can search on Thumbtack. If you're looking for somebody to assemble furniture, if you're looking for a cleaner, you're looking for a photographer, if you're looking for anything you're looking for, any type of service, you can find on Thumbtack. Anything.
Got you. Okay, so now I got this place.
Mm-hmm.
I need money though for the furniture.
Yeah.
How did you source your funding for your Airbnb business?
Yeah, so there's so many different creative ways, right? But me personally, I just use my credit card, bro. I'll literally run up all my furnishing costs on my credit card, and I'll take my profits and I'll pay it off. So that way I get all those points, from utilizing my credit cards. You already know all the perks from utilizing credit cards and things like that. And these things help fund my travel. And I'll take the profits and I'll literally pay off my credit card.
Got you. Nice. All right. So you have been helping people start their own Airbnb business.
Yep.
Tell me why you started doing that.
So I had no intentions on creating a program or a course or anything like that. I just really didn't. You have so many people out here that just love creating courses, right?
Right.
Me personally, that just wasn't me, right? I was enjoying, having this Airbnb business and just making money. But I had a close friend of mine, just like one evening, I believe it was like 11 o'clock, and I was like launching a new Airbnb. And I think he had reached out to me because I was like posting videos in my story on Instagram. And he was like, bro, call me. Call me right now. And I called him. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, yo, I need you to teach me this. And the thing is, we've had this conversation a couple of months ago. And he was like, I need you to teach me this. And he was so adamant about me teaching him and actually really breaking it down to him that I just felt so compelled to create something. And it was that, on top of other people that were in my DMs talking about teach me. And I was like, you know what? He just would not let me rock. Like he was like, bro, because I told him, I was like, I thought about creating something. I don't know. People ask me all the time. He's like, bro, please, make something. So I was like, all right, say no more. And, I put together a program, literally took everything that I learned in this industry, from all the mistakes I've made, from all the things that I discovered, all the things I realized that had made me the most money, all the things that, that I saw that lost me money. Even like when I first got started in this business, bro, I didn't do it the right way. I was literally leasing up these properties and doing it behind landlords and property managers' backs. Right.
So doing that, what happened?
I got kicked out of buildings. I got thrown out of buildings. Right. But see, I don't regret it. I'm gonna tell you why I don't regret it, because I was taking massive action and I was making money and I learned how cool this business is. But because I was experiencing that I want to continue making money in this industry, but I want to do it the right way. I want to actually make it a win-win situation for me and the landlord and the property manager. And, I actually want to actually make it into a real business, whereas though we actually have an agreement, they're aware of what I'm doing. And I knew if I can just do that, man, this can actually be really great business. All right. And that's when I started doing that. So I made sure in my program, I actually teach how to do it the right way and to not make the same mistake I did, because you don't get thrown. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
So before that, man, I saw that you got an ebook out now. Congratulations.
Yes, appreciate you, my brother.
Got you. So the ebook, what's that about?
Yeah, so the ebook is called How to Start an Airbnb Business with No Money, right? And in that ebook, I give you a great idea and a great understanding of why this business is so powerful and why it's a business where the everyday average person can enter into this arena and truly create passive income. And also, I give a couple of strategies, right? Whether you have a lot of money, a little money, or no money, you can still enter into this business with no money, right? And I shed some light on some of those strategies. So that way, man, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, you can truly make money in this business and you can start now.
And that's in the ebook.
It's an ebook.
Nice. Where can I get the ebook at?
So I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link.
There it is. Okay.
I'm gonna drop
Under
the
the
link.
video.
Or you can click the link in my bio.
Got you.
For sure.
And your
Click
social media again
in my
is?
social media. So Kemoy, KEMOY_Martin, MARTIN.
Got you. And that's where you go to get you basically a copy of the book to learn how to start your Airbnb business. That's dope. That's dope. So to get into a little bit more of everything that you got going on, what is in the near future for your Airbnb business?
Yeah. So right now I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm looking for a big play, right? Because you had asked me, hey, what's holding you back from getting 12 to 20, right? And it's really something that moves me. It's really something that excites me. It's really if I'm gonna get more, I'm cool with getting more in this one particular building just because I have that really figured out. But I'm also really open to getting like a good group of 5, 10, 15, 20 in one shot. I'm really open to a big play like that. Also, I'm really looking to getting something international. See, that excites me. That excites me. Getting a property in another country that I enjoy.
Where are you looking at?
So I got a couple places in mind, right? And this is just kind of just.
Hey, don't hold it to yourself. But what are you looking at?
I'm thinking about Tulum.
Okay.
Mexico. I'm thinking about Costa Rica.
Why those places? Central America then, huh?
So Tulum is hot, man. Tulum is hot. I don't know if you know this, but Tulum's about to get their own airport.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So the thing is, to get to Tulum now, you have to fly into Cancun.
And then drive.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're literally about to get their own airport. And because of, something like that, and because of the recent travel boom going on in Tulum, there's a lot of just growth going on there, a lot of opportunity. So it's almost like Miami overseas, man. I like it. So it's an idea. I'm talking to some realtors out there.
Got you.
Yeah.
How would you say that? You're a wholesaler, therefore you understand how to acquire real estate.
Yeah.
And my next question would be, how come you don't acquire the property?
Yeah.
And own the property? How come you don't do that?
So you could.
How come you don't do that?
So me personally, man, I love rental arbitrage. I love being able to lease out these properties without having to spend a lot of, capital. And I love doing it, especially working with apartment buildings, because you have the ability to scale up, man. I mean, if you really build the right relationship, you can really have a whole entire building to yourself, So I just love it. And as much as there are a lot of amazing benefits with owning real estate, there's so many, right? I'm never going to knock that. there are still some responsibilities when it comes to owning real estate, and taking the rental arbitrage route, it kind of alleviates you from some of those responsibilities, right? So
a little bit less stress, huh?
a little bit less stress,
And no rehab.
Yeah, and no rehab. You can literally acquire properties that are already modern, up to date, renovated, good to go.
Got you.
So yeah.
So what I've seen in a lot of leases, and I'm a landlord.
Yeah.
I have 2 dozen rentals or
Yep.
some. So like what I don't allow subleasing.
Yep.
And so do you still pursue landlords who don't allow subleasing, or do you just kind of leave it as it is and you try to find those who are open to it?
So I do my best to find those that are open to it.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily just because it's in their paper, because just because it's in their lease doesn't mean they're not open to it, right? I'll ask them, and if they are, and what I'll do is just have them create an addendum, that lays out the specifics as far as our business terms of what I'm doing, So yeah.
Does your contract come with that addendum? I mean, your course come with that addendum?
No, so I'm not really big on like creating stuff like that. I teach people the ideology and how to set yourself up so that way the landlord can really do that if they really want to.
Fair enough. I was just kind of curious, just because I never heard of it worded like that.
Yep.
Got you. All right. Now, did the pandemic affect you?
So when the pandemic first hit, I did get hit with a lot of cancellations, right? I'm not even gonna lie. See, the thing is, for me, I'm around, a lot of my properties were around convention centers, were around like baseball stadiums and things of that nature. When the pandemic hit, games got canceled.
Right.
Conferences got canceled. Graduations got canceled, right? So I had lost a lot of those bookings because there were no reason for them to travel to that particular city where my property is located in. So that's what happened in the beginning. But what pretty much shifted was the type of clientele that I got, right? And pretty much the type of clientele that I started getting were travel nurses and health professionals. So because of this huge health catastrophe, travel nurses, they were getting assignments around the country at all-time high.
Right.
And if you don't know what a travel nurse is, it's pretty much, a nurse, obviously, but they'll travel to places outside of their own home, other cities, other states, to work in those hospitals, and they'll literally work at those hospitals for 3 months, 6 months.
Long stays.
Yeah, long stays. And guess what? Guess what they're gonna need?
Airbnb.
They're gonna need a place to stay. Right. But Airbnbs are literally the perfect place, because here they are. They're gonna be staying someplace long term, and it's hotels are cool, and sometimes they do stay in hotels, but they really want a home away from home, right? They want something that makes them feel like they're at home in another city, So I got a lot of health professionals, and that pretty much helped me out a lot. But that also showed me that how much this industry is recession proof. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what, whether people are traveling for fun, people are traveling for business, people are traveling because they need to see family, no matter what, there's always going to be a need for short-term rentals.
Gotcha.
Right? If you remember movies that were revolving around emergencies, state of emergencies, or the world just going crazy, right? You always had your emergency employees, or you always had those people that were the heroes that needed to go to another state, and they needed to work with the government or whatever. You know those movies or whatever. Yeah. They need a place to stay, right? And a lot of times, again, hotels are cool, but people are getting really comfortable and excited about staying in apartments or staying in condos or staying in houses, because it's they have more access. It feels like home.
Now, I'm a little old school.
Yeah.
And I travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not to 40 countries though, but you know what I'm saying? Where I was going with my question is, I like hotels. I like being able to get up, go get breakfast downstairs.
Yep.
Concierge, take care of me.
Yeah.
And go by my way.
Yeah.
Could you tell me why Airbnb versus hotel?
I can't, man. I can't.
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person, because I love hotels and I also love Airbnbs.
Gotcha. It's just about depending on the trip.
Yeah, it depends on the trip, and I heavily stay in both. Right, okay. I heavily stay in both. So it's it
just depends on the situation.
Depends on the situation.
Gotcha.
Right? But there's enough clientele for them all. you know?
Got you. What does your course, for somebody taking your course, how does it empower somebody like myself?
Yeah. So the reason why it's so powerful, it's beyond just the information, right? Number one, it's amazing because everything that you need is in one particular place. You don't have to like go to a million different places. You have literally at the ability to go to one set place, learn everything from the very beginning to you getting your property and start making money, right? And even understanding how to automate, everything you need is all there. But we also have a private Facebook group, right? Which is really cool because we have a community, we uplift each other, we cheer each other on. Whenever people get their first Airbnb, we show love, you know, and we'll do mastermind calls. So it really gives you that comfort and also that sense of just community and connection with other people that have been doing it longer. So you know that you're not in this by yourself.
Got you. Support.
You got support, you know. Environment, you're in an environment of other new people and you're seeing them get their first property.
That's important.
That's important.
Just because it motivates me to see you win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like, oh, I got to get on my shit.
And it makes it real. It makes it real. Because you saw somebody just get added to a group just like you, and you see them get their first property. You're like, wow, they were new just like me.
Gotcha.
They never did this just like me. And they end up getting their first property.
Gotcha.
You know,
gotcha.
wow.
The power of proximity.
I can do power of proximity. I can do it too if they can do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you for coming through, brother.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, you're not done mentoring me though.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Hey, I appreciate you for staying tapped in, man. The First Generation Wealth Builders Podcast, man. Tell a friend to tap in, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you on the other side.